Welcome to the 122nd edition of Make Pro Wrestling Majestic again. I am Tiger Height.
And I am Peanut Gallery.
So let's talk about Wrestledream.
Yay.
Good Lord. This, I don't want to say it was bad, but it wasn't there. This is what every Dynamite should be. Like this kind of level of action. But it's not.
Right.
So it just felt like a fluffed up Dynamite. And I feel like that was such a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, most of them do. And then there's like 18 matches on the card, which is just a slog to get through.
Right. So let's get into our first match. A single star defending the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, MJF, who is the world champion, keep that in mind, of AEW versus The Righteous. MJF is popular. I mean, he got one of the bigger pops of the night with his stuff.
Yeah.
But
he's a world champion.
He is the world champion. He is defending these titles for two people by himself against The Righteous, and they still couldn't beat MJF. Why do we have these tag team champions on these people?
Right.
Why?
Because it's popular.
They can they can be friends and do all the hokey shit all they want, but why have the secondary promotions tag team champions associated with your world champion?
Because they're desperate.
God, it's so bad. At the very least, at least it was fun. It was a fun little match, but once again, the Righteous are buried. But MJF was incredibly popular, especially with like the kangaroo kick shit. Like that really blew up that place, and it was Heat Seeker for the win. I'm gonna give it a full thumbs up. I liked more than I hated. Just some nitpicky things that they have really nothing to do with.
Yeah.
Anyway, for the Ring of Honor World Champion and the never Openweight champion, or the strong Openweight champion, Eddie Kingston defending against the pure champion Katsuyori Shibata.
Again, you have this whole thing where they're champions of other promotions, and it's your own. I don't get it. It's like, hello.
Yeah, there is no Ring of Honor champion in this entire match, and both of them have belts.
Right. Well, I mean, the Ring of Honor World Champion is on the line.
Yeah. But that's not an AEW. It's AEW owned, but they treat it as a separate promotion entirely.
Which, again, I mean, from the outset, it just doesn't make any sense to treat it like a different promotion because all the same people are on. We've talked about this ad nauseum at this point.
We have.
But it just doesn't make any sense. You think with an AEW pay-per-view, it would be primarily AEW champions.
I think there were more non-AEW champions on the line than actual AEW champions. And I thought there was going to be more incorporation with New Japan people, but there was not.
Right.
Or there wasn't at all. It was fine. It was a powerbomb for Eddie Kingston to win. Orange Cassidy, thumbs up. There's just no heat to this match whatsoever, so I couldn't care about it.
Right.
For the AEW TBS champion...
Okay, so at least it's an AEW champion.
This is an AEW champion. Kris Statlander and Julia Hart. This was a good match.
It was.
It was competitive. People got really into it. These two have a very interesting chemistry that I really liked. And Kris Statlander won. Now, this kind of match, where they had build and structure and then a good match... This is how champions should be treated. This is where value is brought in.
This was the first match where there was an actual storyline associated with it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the worst part about the other two matches. They were just like, match, here you go.
Right, they were just kind of thrown together at the last minute.
It's like, don't give me that they are fighting. Give me a reason why I should care that they're fighting. Right. Not because they're both good wrestlers, because that just doesn't fly anymore.
Right, you have to have good storytelling.
Right.
Something that Mr. Tony Khan lacks.
Yeah, the Snowman doesn't have it. But it was a Saturday Night Fever for the win. Good match. Full thumbs up.
Yep.
I just liked it. So I got back into the show at this point. And then it went off of a immediate cliff with a bunch of tag teams to determine the number one contender for the tag team champions.
And no one cares.
No one cared because they were just random tag teams.
They're thrown together.
Hook and Orange Cassidy, they were like, oh, do you want to tag while eating chips?
Right. Probably from catering.
If they're not fucked all to treat it seriously, how am I supposed to?
Right.
I get it's a character, but come on. It was a spot fest.
Yeah, it was.
Now, it was obviously going
as with all multi-person matches, it was a spot fest.
Yeah, it exhausted the crowd. It was BTE for the Young Bucks to win. Why the Young Bucks? Why do they need another title match? They don't need.
And then they lost said title match against FTR. I think didn't they?
No,
they
have
that match?
They didn't have it yet. And also FTR are no longer the champions.
Well, I know, but I thought that they had the championship match on a Collision.
No, that was Big Bill and Ricky Starks.
Well, no, I was talking about a previous episode, not last week's Collision.
Oh.
Anyways, but this one makes no sense.
We're a week off, so yeah. I mean, this was last Sunday.
Right. So this match made no sense to me. Anyways,
well, I'll talk about it later, but. Once again, spot fest after a good match. Orange Cassidy, thumbs up, ironically, and there you go. Swerve Strickland and Hangman Page.
I get that there's a little bit more of a storyline to this, but this storyline still has not made sense to me.
So, I liked the match.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun, but Swerve Strickland has the dancing Prince Nana, who is more over than both of these two combined.
Yeah.
But he wasn't out there until the very end of the show doing the dance, and that was humorous. But it's like, how is a guy doing a dance to Swerve Strickland, who is a heel, mind you, more over than both of these two, who are good wrestlers?
Right.
It's so ass backwards, but 100% the right person won here.
Oh yeah.
It was the JML driver for the win. I wouldn't make this majestic again because it doesn't have to be. It was straightforward. They had a rivalry. They had promos. They built time with it.
Yeah,
so
it still didn't make any sense to me, but hey, at least they tried something.
Right. It gets a full thumbs up. Why did this match exist? So apparently because Wheeler Yuta is a bitch. He was getting in the face of Ricky Starks, who was approaching Bryan Danielson after their Texas Death Match very non-threateningly. And if you can read body language, that would be the case. But Wheeler Yuta didn't do that, and that was the build for this match. And by the way, that Texas Death Match happened the day before this show. This match had a day of build.
They didn't even build it. They just put it together.
Throw it together and put them in the ring.
Yep.
It was a nothing burger. It was a nothing sandwich. I guess it was wrestled okay because Ricky Starks is a good wrestler.
Right.
Wheeler Yuta's fine, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And the right person won. Rochambeau. Ricky Starks continues to get momentum.
And again...
But by the way, this still gets a thumbs down and a fuck you. I'm doing that now.
But anyways, the point of all of this is that it's very obvious that these stars don't have a place to develop very well.
No.
Like, they're all just stagnant, swimming in whatever.
They have 3 shows, and nobody feels important.
And nothing is being built. Like, there is no top person right now.
None. Even MJF, who is supposed to be.
Right. There's no hierarchy in this company.
It's like just a bunch of people.
Where's the structure?
Right. I mean, to be honest with you, at this point, I feel like the secondary champions feel more important than the world champion.
Right.
Okay. Bryan Danielson, Zack Sabre Jr. It was a very good match.
Yes, because it is impossible for either of these two to have really bad matches.
Right, exactly.
Now, they can have some stinkers every once in a while.
And here is the issue with this. It was a very good match, but that's it. This did not feel like that dream match that people were really wanting. Now, Bryan Danielson and Kazuchika Okada, 100%. That felt like a dream match.
This one didn't get a ton of build, I feel.
No.
It wasn't...
It was the majority of it was on Collision because that's where Bryan Danielson primarily wrestles is on Collision.
Right, and no one watches Collision.
Nobody's going to go out of their way to watch that. I do it because it's part of the fucking job. Like, I have to. And I said, even on my last review, I am seriously considering just stopping it entirely because it's just a bunch of people in matches. It's literally Rampage.
Yeah.
It's Rampage on Saturdays, and I dropped Rampage.
Right.
So, there you go. The back and forth was good, and it was the Boo Psycho knee for Danielson to win. I'm going to give it a full thumbs up. It got close to 2, but I think it was just a build issue, not a wrestling issue.
Right.
Because wrestling is all incorporated, people. That is how this works.
Oh, and here's another random fucking match.
It was fine. Well, the Don Callis family exists. Will Ospreay and the Don Callis family taking on Kenny Omega. Oh God, who's behind me? Chris Jericho and Kota Ibushi, who is still not signed with the company. What is he? Where is he going outside of AEW? Is he just
right?
I know he was at GCW for like a spit, but it's like, who's paying them more?
Right.
Like, what is...
But anyways, this one was, again, kind of thrown together. It really was about Chris Jericho and Don Callis more than anything else in this match.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, why are you involving Kenny Omega in this? Why are you involving Kota Ibushi in this? Why Will Ospreay? Why are these people doing this?
Right.
Of all the matches that you could do with these people,
it should have been a one-on-one with Chris Jericho and
Will Ospreay, or Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara,
right? Because
that one would make more sense than this.
Right. This one was just randomly thrown together.
Can we just have a straight-up one-on-one match between Kenny Omega and Konosuke Takeshita? Is that challenging? Why put him in title match? Like, these kinds of matches, these two have the history.
Right.
Let's do something with that. Or at the very least, if you want to do a tag match, don't involve Chris Jericho or Will Ospreay. There's no reason for it.
Right.
I mean, Kenny Omega Don Callis has beef with both Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho, but let's just have something different than this, because it just feels so...
put together.
Right, put together, throw in front of your face, and clearly that's not selling anymore.
Right.
God. It was the bat shot for the win. Orange Cassidy thumbs down.
Yep.
There was just nothing there for me to grasp, like, whatsoever. For the AEW World Tag Team Champions, thank God it's a penultimate, FTR taking on Aussie Open.
And what did Aussie Open do to deserve this opportunity? I have no idea.
I think they challenged FTR on Collision, and that is how this happened.
Okay, cool.
Oh, and by the way, Mark Davis is injured. He injured his wrist during this match. So fucking awesome. Didn't they?
Because Cash Wheeler is also injured now, which is why they lost the
tag team champions.
We'll talk about that more a little bit later on. But
right.
Anyways,
do you know the extent of his injury? Because I have no clue.
I do not know.
But yes, Mark Davis was injured during this match. I think it's a wrist injury, but he just came back from a knee injury. I think they were here for like a month, and then now they're going to be not working again. It's like,
right. It's so dumb.
It's not their fault, but this is what happens when you try to do spot fest shit. You have more of a chance of something like this happening.
Right.
I liked the match. It was a good match. They built this one at the very least well, because both of these teams had momentum going into this match, so there was something for me to grasp. The tag team division has more of a hierarchy than the rest of the place, and that division is so off.
Right.
God, bless America. But it was a top rope shatter machine for FTR to win. I'm going to give it a full thumbs up. And finally, in our main event, pretty much the thing that had the most build, the most everything.
Well, yeah, because we all know who returned at this match.
Well, who debuted.
Who debuted.
But Christian Cage and Darby Allin had previous history. 2 out of 3 falls. They did all the shit. Darby Allin, he is committed to be paralyzed. A fucking scoop slam off of the apron to the steel steps. Why?
Right.
What are you doing? That's not drawing anybody in.
Right.
You're just doing this for the sake of doing. This is ECW with a bigger budget.
Yeah.
That's literally what it is. God bless. But the number one, the right person won.
Yep.
It was a turtleneck pull over and a jackknife pin for the win. It was a countout for fall number 2. And then finally, it was a belt shot by Nick Wayne for the win. Now, that was good done. That was well done.
Yes, it was. Okay, so...
Big attack.
The hottest thing going right now, the only thing about AEW that I can think about is Copeland and Christian. That is the only thing that gets attention right now within the entire company. And it's not even over the championship.
Yeah, it's not. Why Christian with the title?
Right.
There's no reason for Christian.
Because now he's kind of in a pseudo rivalry with someone who wants to reform the tag team with him.
And
that's the hottest act going right now.
But yes, Edge debuted. He debuted on the show. He did not run over to the other side for a reason, and that's a pattern. He will continue to do that.
Just kind of as a little bit of a shot there.
Right. And it's like, oh my God, they got 3 million views. And I'll go into it on why that doesn't matter, at all. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. This was by far the best match on the show. It definitely deserved the main event slot in general.
Yep.
It was the best built. It was the best worked. And Christian knows how to do this really, really well. And I'm really liking this team that Christian is forming. It's dynamic. It's interesting. But once again, Christian knows what he's doing.
Yes,
he's been trained.
Because he's been trained by a system that works actively to build superstars.
Exactly. So this was good, and I liked it. It gets a full thumbs up. And that was really the end of Wrestledream. It felt more like a wrestle meh.
It was more like a wrestle slog.
Yeah,
than anything.
It really was. It wasn't a nightmare, because if it was a nightmare, then that would presume that the show was bad. But it wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good.
Right.
It was not memorable in any way.
No. Well, except for Adam Copeland debuting.
Well, but
outside of that, nothing here I will remember in this time next week. There will be no part of this that I will remember nor care about.
Anyways, we're going to get on your soapbox when we come back.
Yes, we are.